Is Riddle Randy Orton?
What up, Mox?
Guys, Monday Night Raw review and reaction. Let's get right into the show. It was a halfway decent episode of Monday Night Raw, which is about the best as you can expect nowadays. So let's start off with Sonya Deville, Adam Pearce backstage talking about Randy Orton for some reason not being able to participate in tonight's triple threat final chance match to get into Money in the Bank. For some reason, he's not there at the show. We have Matt Riddle coming up, giving them a piece of paper that is from Randy Orton supposedly, but it's actually written in this guy's handwriting and written in crayon, and it's all at least that little funny thing there. But in the end, he ends up taking Riddle does Orton's spot in this battle royal to see who jumps into that triple threat match at the main event.
Yep.
And he ends up winning the match. I thought it was a solid little story, him doing this. And now interesting, Damian Priest returning. He's back. All of a sudden he hadn't seen him for a little bit. He's back now. He's in this match. He's the final two. We have issues still brewing between Cedric Alexander and Jeff Hardy during this match. You have Cedric eliminating Jeff in this match, and then you have Riddle, like I said, Damian Priest, the final two guys in this matchup, and Riddle gets the win. Celebrates the
hard strike, creates a separation.
Celebrates like Randy Orton, tells the outside announcers to play Randy Orton's music, hit the pyro and all that stuff like that. So I thought it was, it's a little fun little thing for Riddle to do to kind of play up the storyline between him and Randy Orton. But I don't know where this leads to.
Yeah, he's the ultimate mark for Randy Orton. That's basically what he's doing. He's kind of living vicariously through him, I guess. I don't know, using him to power his way through it. I liked it. I thought it made Riddle look good. I think it made him look like sort of like a badass, but still be funny and throwing that whole character in there. Good to see Damian Priest back. The match was what it was. It's a battle royal. It's 4-on-4 punch, or a guy out, whatever. But at least to making Riddle the focal point of the show. What we see later on, I don't think it's going to be what we want and make RK Bro a thing. They're going to just kind of probably end up having a match together because I'm not sure if Randy's going to be the happiest with RK Bro.
Yeah, so it seems like they may be leading to something like not that good for RK Bro in the future soon. But Riddle versus Damian Priest, a feud like that could be money. They work very, very well in the ring. I really enjoyed them together in this battle royal. Next thing on the show is Shayna Baszler taking on Nikki Cross, or Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. So that's her new thing. I don't know, whatever. The match is not good. It is what it is. We have Alexa Bliss coming out, and she would seem to possess Nia Jax. Reginald will stop it, but she would attack both Reginald and Nia Jax. And a lot of times, and then allowing kind of the distraction for Cross to kind of get the win here on Shayna Baszler. So we'll see where this leads up going into Money in the Bank and how this whole story plays out. But I'm not a fan of it. It's not really all that good. And we'll see what happens here going forward.
Yeah, at least you're giving Nikki Cross the thing to do. I didn't know if it was going to last more than a week, but we're at 2 weeks. We'll see if it continues. And who knows? She could get this over. She become a star. We don't know. Molly Holly was the thing. There was a Hurricane. They've done this before and it's worked out. Maybe she can pull it off. I'm tired of Reginald. I'm tired of Nia Jax. I'm tired of Shayna. This match sucked. It did nothing. I don't know what Alexa Bliss is doing. Why she's possessing these people, I don't know. It's just that's also not leading anywhere really. So yeah, I'm just kind of like wait and see with this entire thing, and just please get rid of Reginald. Why is he a focal point? I don't understand.
Yeah, so we will see what happens with that. There's no real rhyme or reason as to what she is doing there. Also, Rosie was superhero in training, the acronym for shit. Now she is Ash, which I kind of wish it would have been a little more edgy. Maybe just made it like Ash or something like that, like an acronym for her. But whatever, it is what it is. Next thing on the show, Kofi Kingston out there. He's talking. Obviously, he's upset of what happened last week with Transpire at Hell in the Cell with Xavier Woods and Bobby Lashley. He gets interrupted by MVP. They go back and forth, talk a lot of trash to each other. In the end, MVP gets knocked out with Trouble in Paradise by Kofi Kingston.
Kofi might be test that out right now against MVP. Oh, Trouble in Paradise. That's right. Look at you.
Kingston, after the little exchange. So it seems like it's a solid little feud that they're brewing here between Lashley and Kofi Kingston. Last week's emotion involved in it with his teammate getting attacked and him not being able to help really ups it to another level. Then you have no Lashley here tonight. You have MVP in place, kind of prolonging the feud and getting it to the next point, and him attacking MVP as another element to that. So it's kind of tit for tat at this moment. Could we see KofiMania 2? I don't think so. I think this might be just transitional spot to get to SummerSlam, where the big match is going to happen at SummerSlam with Bobby Lashley or somebody else. Who would that be? I don't know. But that's where it seems. But it was a solid segment. Probably the best part of the show.
Yeah, I thought the promos were good. I thought Kofi's probably one of his best promos. I enjoyed it. I liked it. He brought up how he had a great 6-month run, and he was a fighting champion, he was a traveling champion, and kind of where Bobby Lashley just kind of hanging out and with the ladies, not showing up because he's hurt, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this is going to be a nice little transition towards SummerSlam. It's a good feud. It's a solid feud. It's interesting, and it's got a little bit of history, some fun in there. So yeah, so far so good. That was actually like a super highlight of Raw.
Yeah, it was. It's the highlight of the show. Next thing on the show, we had more Eva Marie and Doudrop, Piper Niven stuff. Obviously, they lost last week. They get a rematch against Asuka and Naomi this week, and pretty much all the work being done by Doudrop. Obviously, Eva Marie kind of lets her do her, like, kind of leaves the match for a little, for the rest of it, and Doudrop kind of gets the win. And obviously, Eva Marie takes credit for it. So I don't know what this is leading to. This is leading to Doudrop versus Eva Marie, because really the only way you can go with it, right? But it doesn't make any sense. You have two debuting, one re-debuting, one debuting superstar joining forces, and it seems like they're already going to break up. And, they obviously have animosity towards each other, especially Piper Niven, Doudrop towards Eva Marie. So what sense does this lead to, like, a match between the two if nothing's really been built around them?
Yeah, I mean, what's the evolution? What does it all mean? Why is Doudrop there? Why is she feuding with her? Why is she feuding with someone more important that's been developed on the roster? That's actually, people know who she is. Or you're just it's two people that just showed up and they're just feuding with each other for no apparent reason, because we really don't know the reason. Do you know the reason? I don't know the reason. Why is she pick her? Why is she picking on her? Why? What's the point? And I thought we were doing some entirely different thing with the motivation crap and whatever, blah 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 blah. But yeah, whatever. It's so far it sucked. It hasn't been good. It's like they were trying to speed it. They sped it up for whatever reason, and they don't know where they're going with it.
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm not excited for this, nor am I excited how this is going to turn out in the end.
No.
Next thing in the show, we have Ricochet rolling up on Miz and Morrison backstage. Ricochet and John Morrison are going to have a match. I thought this was a solid little promo by Ricochet. I think he kind of found his kind of footing a little bit in this promo. Being a little fun with it. Maybe that leans more into him working better, is a little bit more poking fun and having a little bit like jokey side to him. So obviously Miz Morrison, that's what they're all about. They have the match, Miz Morrison, really good match. Obviously Ricochet and Morrison together is something special, watching them go at it. They had the big springboard onto the outside over the barricade. They can still do this stuff because there are no fans with the crash pad out there. Nobody sees it because of the production of the show. You have that going down, and then it will be neither men can answer the count of 10. So both these guys will be in Money in the Bank. Should be a lot of fun between these two guys in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, like you said earlier with Ricochet's promo, he's never had the fire or like the intensity or the believability as when it's an intense promo or trying to come across as this intense feud. He just doesn't really have that emotion. But he was really good with the funny aspect and the comedic thing. So maybe if they push that going forward, he can grow into being a better promo, but better, all around entertainer. The match was really good. I enjoyed the match. The drip thing, it's kind of corny, but whatever. Miz kind of plays it off. It is what it is. It's pretty funny seeing him on the wheelchair about this, but it's a big joke. The spot was fun, crazy spot. It made sense to be a double counter because it was such a ridiculous spot that it actually worked. Sometimes these finishes are just like, what are you doing? This actually felt pretty good. So just to have Ricochet do something interesting, and there's something interesting, I'm excited. This was a weird Raw. It wasn't a great Raw. It wasn't a good Raw, but it's been better than it's been. So then this is one of those small highlights.
Yeah, it was one of the small highlights of the show, and obviously, you can't expect too much from Monday Night Raw. You're kind of playing pretty low with a low bar here. Now, next thing in the show, you have again Charlotte, Natalya, and Tamina taking on Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Rhea Ripley. So you're combining two feuds. Like they like to do singles and tags and put them together and have a feud. But this is a weird one because, Charlotte gets the win for her team, and then Rhea Ripley goes with a chop block from behind. Very heel tactic from Rhea Ripley. So I
think she's a heel.
Yeah, but so she's been doing it to another heel. So, I mean, it doesn't make a ton of sense psychologically how that would work, right? Because you're not really getting a heat or sympathy on somebody who's already a heel by hitting them with a chop block. So I don't know. Are they doing a double turn? Will they eventually flip? I don't think Charlotte's good as a heel, as a baby face. I don't think it'll work, and I don't really see Rhea as a heel. We'll see how this goes, but this doesn't make a ton of sense. Now, who cares about the tag team stuff, right? The titles mean nothing. We'll see that probably go down at Money in the Bank, and obviously we have the title match of Money in the Bank. It's just something that we're not super excited about. Well, we could leave something good coming out of the Money in the Bank, with depending on what woman actually does win that Money in the Bank contract.
Well, yeah, I think they're pushing her as a heel because I mean they've been pumping the boos when she came out for her entrance. So I just think like that's what they're pushing her for. Why I don't know, especially if she's going against another heel who's the bigger, badder heel. It just I don't know. Where's the sympathy? Where's the back and forth? What does it matter if they're both just a bunch of cheaters? Whatever. Or maybe it's kind of a temporary heel move. Maybe she's gonna swerve us later on. I don't know. Again, its feud's been kind of unmemorable. It continues to be unmemorable. We're throwing it into the tag team picture, which is as unmemorable as anything on the roster. Sad to say, but yeah, it was what it was. This was the weakest part of Raw to me. I just didn't enjoy it. This was worse than Nikki Cross stuff. At least you're trying to do something with Nikki Cross. This was just like I don't know. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's kind of sucky stuff, right? But it is what it is. We'll see what goes forward. Going on with this women's division. Maybe there's a shakeup probably happening soon. Something big probably planned for SummerSlam as well for the women's division on either one. So we'll see how that goes. Next thing on the show is a weird one. It's Elias versus Jackson Riker in a strap match that nobody wanted to see, nor was it warranted for anybody to see it. Obviously, a lot of Riker in the back just whipping himself. Whatever, I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense. I guess you see him whipping himself. He's like babyface. I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense what's going on. But then Riker getting the win. Okay, so where does it go from here? What do you do with these guys going forward? Because it's like you had this match, you put the stipulation for no reason whatsoever because you had two stupid finishes the week prior, so you want to go with this match, and then you do it, and then what happens now? So it's the feud over. What does Riker do after this? Elias been wasted completely. I got a video about that. Make sure you check that one out. But other than that, it's like none of these guys have really much anything to do. What do you plan on doing with them? Doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah, like again, they got nothing for these guys and just putting up crap together and trying to make something interesting where, hey, maybe this trap match, people can get behind this and we can want to watch it. It's not good. No one cares about the feud. It's not interesting. They were better off as a tag team and throwing them in a tag team division and doing something interesting in that way. But no, they decided to go toward each other and having a meaningless stipulation match that didn't add to anything. It didn't make it feel more important. It made it feel like completely even more pointless because why are we doing a trap match? So it sucks because Elias has always been so entertaining. It's so good, and he just never got the push that he deserves. And I don't think it's his fault. I think his promos are solid. I think he's entertaining. He uses the best out of that character, and they just don't, for whatever reason, don't want to push him. I don't know. I mean, he's got the look. He's entertaining. I don't understand why they refuse to push him.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. He's a solid character. The character leans itself to like a nice heel thing, especially with the crowd. So it doesn't make a ton of sense. How come we never pushed him? How come we never got to that point? He's nothing super special in the ring, but he's got a good look to him, good gimmick, fun, just a fun thing they could play with a lot as a heel, but it doesn't really work out. Next thing on the show is that triple threat match. See who gets that spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. You have Drew McIntyre, Riddle taking the place of Randy Orton, or fighting for Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. You all know AJ wasn't going to win this because him and Omos have the Viking Raiders to deal with probably at Money in the Bank. So, it is what it is. At least another thing, like, okay, you got rid of Riker and Elias' tag team. You need a tag team, so it made no sense to adapt that. But back to this match. Now, the glaring thing about this is the fact that I think Damian Priest should have been in Money in the Bank. And I think it would have lended himself better for him to be Money in the Bank. He's an up-and-coming star. You could have something like that. Could have been a real dark horse to win the match. Yeah. But as of right now, he's not in it. It's a really good match between all three guys. They really, really work well. Riddle is doing really well in terms of his in-ring work. He's coming off very well on TV on his in-ring work. The promo stuff is like either like it or you don't, but it is what it is. But in-ring, he's doing a really good job. So it was either between Riddle and Drew McIntyre. We all know AJ was going to win. In the end, they picked Drew McIntyre, which probably isn't the right call. I think Drew McIntyre maybe needs to go away for a little bit or go to the mid-card rather than being in this matchup because it adds somebody that you're kind of hoping he's not the guy to win, obviously, because we've seen so much of him, Bobby Lashley, recently. So that's the problem. You have a guy, you build it around him, and it's a guy like we don't want to really see him win because we've seen it so much. So I guess maybe it lends itself to like, okay, he's not going to get it because he can't face Lashley. So we got these other guys who might win it. I don't know. But again, it might be leading to RK Bro having issues with each other going forward, especially if Riddle's a guy who wins Money in the Bank or something like that. But I do think Damian Priest is a guy who should be in this match, but he's not. We'll see how everything plays out. Maybe they get him back in later on. But it was a really solid match. But Drew McIntyre gets the win, and he's going to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why Drew McIntyre is still around and he's still, basically in everything is because they don't have another babyface in the entire company. He's the only babyface that's a top guy, top guy. They don't have anything close to a babyface that's anywhere near his level. So it's just like they have no choice but to push him completely. If there was one other guy here, you could kind of put Drew on the back burner for a month or two, come back maybe in the fall after SummerSlam or something right before SummerSlam. That way we can just forget about him for a little bit, because it's not him. It's just we've seen so much of him over the last year that it's just like, all right, I mean, what else are you going to do? You know, it's just like, does he need the Money in the Bank? No, he doesn't really need it, but he's in it. Is he going to win it? Probably, because they don't have anything else to go to, and the whole Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley thing, no one knows if that's going to happen. We have no clue, so it is what it is. But I like the fact that Riddle's getting the push. Riddle's getting he came out limping at the end, all that stuff. I like it. They're pushing him. They're making him look good. The promo stuff is growing on me, especially with him and Randy. They really work well together. So I'm excited that they're pushing Riddle. I would love to see Riddle win the Money in the Bank. I think he's one of those guys that, you know, if he's one of those guys that should win it, and he's in the position to win it, where it'll help him. Even though for the last few years that Money in the Bank has been worse off for the guy that wins it than anything else. So I mean, I don't know. It's probably bad if you win it. So I really don't know. But I think if they book it properly, Riddle's the guy for it. But yeah, I think WWE's in a spot where they have no baby faces. They have no top baby face. Usually they have like one or two guys. Even on SmackDown, can you name a top baby face on SmackDown?
No, that's why they brought back Edge and kind of like made it seem like forget that he was a heel at WrestleMania.
Exactly. It's just like there's no baby faces. There's not one baby face besides Drew McIntyre. It's pathetic. It's bad. It's bad on the wrestlers. It's bad on the booking. It's bad on the writers. It's bad on Vince. It's bad on Bruce Pritchard. The entire brass at WWE should be slapping themselves across the face, because they've spent the last year in front of nobody, not being able to find another baby face besides Drew McIntyre. It's just a sad state of affair when it comes to the roster. They need something. They need a shake-up. They need to find lightning in a bottle, because they're just running out of time right now when it comes to having interesting feuds going forward.
Yeah, and the only thing they can probably find lightning in a bottle with is KofiMania, if that ends up does happening in KofiMania too. But yeah, they have no baby faces, so by de facto, McIntyre may be the guy to win that Money in the Bank contract, and we may be back to square one again, maybe Raw on repeat, going back with fans in the crowd. But we'll see what happens. They may play it by ear to see who gets the better reaction going into Money in the Bank. They do have the Friday Night SmackDown at Money in the Bank, that maybe they'll play the crowd. Who the hell knows, really? Maybe they don't even have the plan yet of who's going to win the match. Could be somebody from SmackDown, could be somebody from Raw, but it will be interesting to see how they go going forward. But guys, that's our Raw review and reaction. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure to drop a like on this video, hit the chair in the corner, sub to the channel. Make sure you check out that best Hell in a Cell matches in history, if it stays up and it doesn't get another copyright claim, because WWE is being a bunch of pricks when it comes to this stuff.
Stop it.
So they're really hounding me on that video, but check it out if it's still up there and it hasn't got taken down. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, if it doesn't work for you, not do the job.
Later, box.